Hi, everyone. I'm Vincent Joe.
Hi, I'm Kathy Reed.
And I'm Allison Reed.
Hi, I'm Ashley.
Hi, I'm Grace.
We're from the Haydenettes.
I am Mark Henretti.
Ciao a tutti, siamo Rebecca Ghirardi
e Filippo Ambrosini
e vi diamo il benvenuto a
This Weekend Skating.
Welcome to This Week in Skating, the weekly podcast bringing you the latest news from the world of figure skating. Here are your hosts, Daphne, Gina, and Matteo.
And we're back this week. It is Daphne, myself, and Matteo as we go through the skating news and preview the World Championships that are coming up this very week. It's our final ISU Championships for singles, pairs, and dance. The only event after this one that we will have our eyes on will be the World Synchro Championships that will take place in early April.
Yes, and gosh, it feels like yesterday when the season started, didn't it? And I was thinking today about the Junior Grand Prix, the Senior Grand Prix, Grand Prix Final, Nationals, and then Europeans, Olympics, and Junior Worlds, and now here we are with the Senior World Championships. And yeah, we're going to talk about it later. I don't want to spoil too much now.
Yeah, excited. It's been a very exciting season, and I think we're kind of in the point where we're winding things down before we close out and take a little break before coming back for next season.
Yes.
But we do have a bunch of news, so we should probably just kick this off with our general skating news.
Let's do that. And actually, talking about the World Championships, we have a few news in relation to withdrawals from the event. So let's start with Ellie Kam and Dani Oshia that withdrew from Worlds due to injury. They are replaced by Emily Chan and Spencer Ho, who were listed as a second alternate back at the US Championship in January. Jason Brown has also withdrawn and will be replaced by Jacob Sanchez. Jacob was the third alternate behind Max Naumov and Tomoki Hiwatashi when originally announced. Tomoki has announced his retirement. The next one that withdrew was Juwan Cha. He has been replaced by Yong Yoon Cha. Maria Senyuk has withdrawn with no replacement. And finally, Anastasia Golubeva and Hector Giotopoulos Moore have also withdrawn with no replacement.
Yeah, we're down to the wire. I think this will likely be all of the withdrawals. I think anything that happens after now will likely be like travel issue or
sickness or anything that could not be
equipment issues. Yeah. Something like that. I feel like the rosters will be what they are, and we'll talk about that once we get to that piece. We got big information from US Figure Skating as they have announced the locations of 2026 Skate America, 2027 US Championships, and 2027 US Synchro Championships. Skate America is going to be held from October 22nd through the 25th in Everett, Washington. The U.S. Championships are going to be held from January 5th through the 10th in Salt Lake City, Utah. And the National Synchro Championships will be held in Henderson, Nevada from February 22nd through the 27th. This will be the third time Everett has hosted Skate America. They hosted in 2008 and 2018. It makes me think, are we doing this early? Because maybe it should be in 2028 because they seem to be doing it every 10 years. But no, it's going to be next year. At the U.S. Championships, the senior level events and practices at Nationals will be held at the Maverick Center in West Valley. It's a suburb of Salt Lake City. The Maverick Center will be the figure skating venue for the 2034 Winter Olympics. The junior level events and practices will be held at the Salt Lake City Sports Complex. This is the venue that hosted the U.S. International Classic Challenger event from 2012 to 2019. That is a venue Anne is very familiar with. She and Robin attended that competition every year. It was very easy for them to get to because they're on the West Coast. In addition, the U.S. Figure Skating Development Team Championships, which includes competition at the juvenile, intermediate, and novice levels will take place at the sports complex, and that will be from January 2nd through the 5th. All event tickets for the U.S. Championship senior level events go on sale Thursday, March 26th. So this week.
Quite exciting for you, isn't it? Because you always
That's
look forward to this type of news, and then you and Gina discuss that in the background. Where is it? Oh my gosh,
we do.
It's good, it's not good. Pretty exciting.
We've already got our hotels booked.
Wow.
For this competition, and my plan is to go in to be there for the development team championships starting on January 2nd. So I will have to decide if I will go to the ice dance final in November, which is where I usually go. But now that there is a U.S. championships for the juvenile, intermediate, novice, I may not go to that. I may just go early for the nationals. So we'll see. We'll see what the bank account says. We'll see what the PTO says before we make a decision on that.
Yes, and now let's move on to more news. It's actually Iceland's news, Daphne. I know you're here, but if you don't mind, I'm going to take them.
Yes.
So the first one is about the new Iceland.
I'll let you take them.
Thank you. So the first one is the new ice dance team of Daria Grimm and Grigory Rodin will compete for Germany on the Junior Grand Prix next season. Rodin has received his release from Russia, and we know that Daria was actually competing in the past, but she ended her partnership and was, I think, eager to continue skating, and luckily she's now doing that. And the next news are Vittoria Magni and Carlo Rotlisberger of Italy are now being coached by Barbara Fusarpoli and Charlie White. So that means that they left Luca Lanotte, which they were with until recently. But also it's quite interesting because this is showing that Charlie White has probably relocated to Italy. So yeah, there's probably other news that we will cover more in the future once we know more.
It kind of looks like Victoria and Carlo are looking towards the next quad, the next 4 years beyond this, as they've changed coaches, because it would seem a little strange to change your coaches if you're just going to do it for one competition.
Yes, and it's very interesting because Charlene and Marco are not going to be at the World Championships, but they said in an interview that they are skipping Worlds because the new season starts early and they have to rest to get ready for it. Which almost shocked everyone because everyone thought, hold on, are you not going to retire? So we're not sure what's going to happen with the top team of Italy. But if they were to retire, then Vittoria and Carlo would almost automatically become the new top team in ice dance for Italy. And this change is probably thinking about that, because say that Helen and Marco continue next season, I think it's probably only going to be one more season. But, until then, we'll have to wait. And Victoria and Carol thinking, okay, how do we step up now? And let's see whether that's going to be the change that I need for that.
Yeah, because there are several young, strong teams in Italy that are chomping, I think, at the bit to be that number one team. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out after this season and beyond, depending on what decisions are made. We are now going to move on to event results and coverage. There were 2 competitions last week. I'll start with the 2026 European Wolfenia Cup. The women's event, gold was won by Ginevra Negrello of Italy, silver by Gioia Fiori of Italy, and bronze was claimed by Sarah Franzi of Switzerland. The junior gold medalists in the men's event, Marian Klus of Czech Republic, and in the women's event, Elizaveta Grashenkova of Uzbekistan.
There was also the 2026 Crystal Skate Spring. So in the men, gold went to Arlet Levandi of Estonia, silver to Nikolai Krivoseja of Latvia, and bronze to Larry Lopolova of Bulgaria. In the women's, gold went to Kristina Lizovskaya of Estonia, silver also to Estonia to Olesia Leonova, and bronze to Ekaterina Lazarski of Georgia. In the junior, men gold went to Vladislav Chirakov of Estonia, and the women gold went to Sofia Nekrasova, also of Estonia. Results from an advanced novice will be in the show notes.
So, we've already alluded to the World Championships, so we're moving on to upcoming events for the week. Friends of ours are on their way to Prague for the World Championships. They're taking place this week. Worlds in an Olympic year always brings something a little bit different because you deal with withdrawals. You also see opportunities for the skaters who are filling those slots created by withdrawals. It's a great opportunity to get some ISU points, but it's also a great opportunity to get yourself kind of on the map for the next quad. But also, in some cases, we're going to be seeing the final performances, the final competitive performances of skaters like Kaori Sakamoto. And I'm not entirely sure what other skaters are absolutely positively retiring. So I'm kind of going into this competition thinking I'm going to enjoy as much of it as I can, knowing that for some of these skaters, it's going to be it. And I've enjoyed so many of them over the last, not just the last quad. We're looking at like the last decade or longer. It's a long journey, and so it's going to be kind of exciting and a little sad knowing that we're not going to see them next season.
Yeah.
So, Matteo, why don't you kick it off with the men's competition?
Yes, so there's going to be 36 men competing there. There are big names, Ilya Malinin of the United States. As we said before, Jason Brown is no longer going to be there, but Ilya will be there, and I'm pretty sure that he's desperate to redeem himself after the men's final at the Olympic Games. Also, there are Yuma Kagiyama and Shun Sato of Japan, both medalists from the Olympic Games. Daniel Grassel of Italy, also medalists from the Olympic Games in the team event, actually. Kevin Amos and Adam Thiao will be there representing France. Steven Gogolev of Canada is also going to be there. And Steven actually is another one that we need to keep an eye on because he did so well at the Olympic Games. And this is one of those scenarios, as you were saying, where anything could happen. It's a long season. A lot of skaters have invested everything into getting ready for the Olympic Games, which is probably where they peaked. And anything could happen here. So let's keep an eye on all those skaters that are sometimes in the background. And finally, Nika Gadzev from Georgia will be there. We know that the new Olympic champion, Shidorov, withdrew from Worlds, so we're not going to see him there. But in the women's as well, a lot of entries. There are 33 women that are going to compete there. You mentioned Kaori Sakamoto of Japan. She will be there. Actually, Gina and I were kind of trying to enjoy as much of Kaori as possible at the Olympics because we thought she's not going to go to Worlds, and then she was not withdrawing and there were no announcements, so she's definitely there. We've actually started to see photos of her getting ready to go to Worlds. And she's going to be joined by Ami Nakai and Mone Chiba, also of Japan. And Ami, as we know, was the bronze medalist at the Olympic Games. From the United States, we will see Amber Glenn there. We know Alisa Leo, the Olympic champion, withdrew from Worlds, possibly because she has quite a lot of course that she went through ever since becoming the Olympic champion. But yes, she will not be there. Anastasia Gubanova of Georgia will be competing there alongside Nina Petrokina of Estonia, which is the European champion, as we know. And Lara Naki-Gutman as well, which is continuing on that positive trajectory for the entire season. So she won bronze at a team event with Italy. And I think we all want to see that shark one more time this season, don't we?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like, too, she's able to... I feel like I'm hoping that at this competition she can skate even better. I feel like in the team event she put out her really stronger performances and not as much in the individual event. So I'm hoping that at this competition she brings all of that, excitement to both of her programs at this competition. Well, moving on to the pairs, there are 21 entries, which makes me sad thinking one team is not going to make the free skate. That's kind of, I don't know. I just, if you're that one team, it just feels not, it doesn't feel nice.
They should just let them in.
Is what I want to say. And I know I'm not.
It's only one team.
Yeah. I know I'm not the only one that feels that way because I've seen a lot of it online. Like, people are talking about just one team. Really? Can't you make it work somehow? We don't have our reigning Olympic champions for this event, as Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kiara of Japan withdrew. But we do have the silver and bronze medalists here. Georgia's Anastasia Metelkina and Luka Barulova are going to be at Worlds, as well as Germany's Minerva Fabian Hasse and Nikita Volodin. They're both going to be there. Also, this team that we've talked about all season, Maria Pavlova, Alexei Sviatchenko of Hungary, they have been incredibly consistent, and this could be their shot at getting a world medal. They're both still young. I feel like there's more time for them in this next quad, so this would be a great place to start. Canada's Leah Pereira and Trent Michaud, third place in the Olympic short program. I feel like this is also an opportunity for them. And Alisa Efimova, Misha Mitrofanov of the U.S. This is a team that missed the Olympics due to Alisa not having citizenship for the U.S. So this is a great place for them to go out there, and if they skate well, maybe they snag a medal. It's really going to depend on a lot of different factors, variables, who skates clean, who doesn't skate clean. It's going to be very exciting.
It feels safe to say that, the first two spots are likely to be Georgia and Germany's, although you never know, because we never take anything for granted in this sport. But yeah, the podium has got 3 places, and all the other teams that you mentioned could be there, as well as other teams in the background. Because
they could.
You never know. That's the beauty of pairs, I think. Pairs have been incredibly exciting this season, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen there.
There have been some surprises at a post-Olympics Worlds, the last couple of them, and I think this could be no exception. So we'll take a look when we're recapping it next week. I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about.
So you're running out of closet space. The good news? You don't need to stop shopping. You just need to start selling with The RealReal. The RealReal is the world's largest and most trusted resource for authenticated luxury resale. Whether it's that mini bag that can't even fit your phone, or those boots you never fully broke in, The RealReal handles everything from photography and copywriting to shipping and pricing. So you can just sit back, get paid, and make room for things that actually feel like you. And with 10,000 plus new arrivals every single day from top designers like Prada, Celine, Louis Vuitton, and Loewe, all for up to 90% off retail, you're bound to find something perfectly on brand to fill that extra closet space with. Plus, right now, you can get an extra $100 to shop when you sell for the first time. Make room for what feels like you. Go to therealreal.com to start selling and get your extra $100 to keep shopping at therealreal.com. That's therealreal.com. Terms apply.
In the ice dance event, there are 31 entries. This is the only competition where the reigning Olympic champions have decided to compete. France's Laurence Fournier-Baudry and Guillaume Cizeron. This is their debut as a team. And it looks like on paper they should be a lock for the gold, but we also know that the ice is slippery and things can happen, so we'll see. Piper Gillis and Paul Poirier of Canada, they are our 2026 Olympic bronze medalists, and they have been the world silver medalists for the last 2 years. They're going to be in Prague. We also have Lila Fear and Lewis Gibson of Great Britain. They finished 7th at the Olympics, but they are the reigning Grand Prix final bronze medalists, and they were the 2025 world bronze medalists. So I think they're definitely in the medal hunt here. As well as Emilia Zingis, Vadim Kolesnik of the U.S. They were 5th at the Olympics, 6th at their first Grand Prix final, which was back in December. And this is their debut at Worlds. I think people forget that this is their first senior Worlds. And they're now, on paper, the top U.S. ice dance team because Madison Chalk and Evan Bates withdrew from the competition. So they are the top U.S. team going in. There are a couple of other teams, though, that could definitely shake things up a little bit. We have Allison Reed and Saulius Ambrulavicius of Lithuania in likely their final competition of their competitive careers. I've so enjoyed watching Allison since she was a young girl at like Placid Ice Dance Championships when she skated solo dance, and then when she was in different partnerships. It's so lovely to see, to have witnessed that and then get to see her now at this point in her career. Having been able to make her Olympic dream come true. It's just lovely. Also, Evgenia Lopareva and Jeffrey Brissot of France. I think sometimes they get overshadowed now that Guillaume Cizeron has returned with a new partner. Then they just won the Olympics. They're a team that's got two, I think, wonderful programs, and they're just different on the ice. And so they could shake things up a bit. And then Olivia Smart and Tim Deek of Spain. We get one more shot at seeing Dune Part 2. There are a bunch of world's debuts in each of the disciplines, and yeah, it's very exciting. I love the World Championships. And we talked a little bit in our group chat, the three of us, about should they do a Worlds in should they do a Worlds in an Olympic year? And I think they should, because I think it's a great opportunity to, I mean, teams or skaters will withdraw if they want to. They don't have to go. Like, they can make that decision. And on the flip side of that, if they don't go, it just creates these opportunities for athletes to step up and be in this highly competitive, high-stakes competition in preparation for the next 4 years. So I think it's a great opportunity for that.
And also we got to remember that not everyone can go to the Olympic Games. So there are teams like we mentioned,
yes,
Elisa Efimova and Misha Mitrofanov, which would have been Olympics ready, but unfortunately because of a citizenship issue they couldn't be there. And it would be a shame, I think, without a World Championships for them not to be able to end the season in whatever way they will end it. But, you know, they're one of many skaters that could not be there, and of course, you know, it's good for them to now have a chance to go there. Also because this counts for them. Say that they last for the next 4 years and they keep being strong. They will now build even more credential at these World Championships to then make their case to be going to the next Olympic Games should they want to. So it's quite, in my view, I feel like it's exhausting for a lot of these skaters to go through such a long and demanding season. But we cannot really probably get rid of Worlds after the Olympic Games.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I look at this and thinking about all the withdrawals that we have had so far, but I look at opportunities like Alyssa Liu withdrew from Worlds, and we're getting Sarah Everhart. She's getting this opportunity to go to the World Championships. And that's huge for her to set her up for the next 4 years. Same thing with Jacob Sanchez, who just competed at the World Junior Championships. He's replacing Jason Brown. You know, this is huge to have this opportunity to get these points. The ISU Championship points are so important for Grand Prix assignments. There's just so much that goes into it. So I think it's too crucial to eliminate it. Although I know it's incredibly exhausting.
Yeah, and we look forward to it.
Yeah. We do have 4 other events going on. We have in Graz, Austria, the Next Gen Ice Stars. We have the Milano Easter Trophy, which is a synchro competition in Milan, Italy. We have the Unicorn Dance Trophy, which is in Hoorn, Netherlands. That's a solo dance international. And then the 2026 Morris Open in Morris, New Jersey. That's part of the solo dance series for the US.
Let's move on to online updates, and we have a few of them that were shared mainly on Instagram. So let's start with Backstromer announcing that he's making the switch from single to pairs. And he said, due to constant string of injuries over the past 2 years, I was getting frustrated and demoralized. I ultimately made this decision to value my longevity and do what I can to continue competing for as long as I can. I know pairs won't be easy. It has its own unique set of challenges, but I will face every challenge that comes my way head on. And I think it's quite important to listen to these words, because it's important for a skater to listen to their heart, their minds, but also their bodies. If the body, unfortunately, is not able to cooperate with the ambitions that they have, then they have to reassess what they're doing. And it seems like Beck is actually doing that. So good luck in that.
Yeah, we have 2 weddings to celebrate, Matteo. Jessica Callahan and Zach Seadoo were married in Escondido, California on March 20th. You may remember Callahan and Seadoo skated together from 2010 to 2018 until Zach retired from competitive skating. They posted photos. Alexa Knierim was at the wedding, as well as Todd Sand. Mariah Bell caught the bouquet. It's amazing. Was in their Instagram stories. And Ryan Bradley married Alexis Verhulst. They were married on March 19th in Sarasota, Florida. And Craig Heath actually posted photos. So congratulations to both couples and best wishes for the future.
We also have a set of news articles and interviews that we mention as always. So just quickly going through them. The Women's in Sport Photography featuring Danielle Earle and Melanie Henney video was posted on the Olympics YouTube channel. It's fantastic. We know that there was quite a spotlight on women in photography at the Olympic Games, and our friends Danielle and Melanie were interviewed. So I'm really pleased, and we were all very overjoyed by seeing the 2 of them sharing their experience. And more of that, absolutely. We want more of that content.
Yeah. Not a day goes by, Matteo, that I don't get a message from someone sharing Danielle's photo with me, because they know I'm a skating photographer and they're just like so excited to see that picture. So it's amazing. It's not just about women in sports. It's not just about women in sports photography. I just feel incredibly proud of Danielle and Melanie for being part of that video. And then also our other friends who were there, Robin, Eureka, just so many women that we know there taking photos. Giada is another one. It's just fantastic to be part. I feel really honored to be part of a great group of women sports photographers.
Yes, and Gina and I were reflecting that at the figure skating event at the Olympics, it didn't feel like the misbalance was very big between men and women, but it seems like there were progress made, but there's still quite a gap between the attendance of men media and women media. So hopefully Danielle and Melanie are actually the champions of what the future will look like, and all the other names that you mentioned there. We want inclusion, and we want women to feel that if they want to get into skating media, they can do it. It's possible.
Absolutely.
And we actually want more of them, because everyone is doing a great job. So keep going on. So the next article that we want to mention is from US Figure Skating. It's titled Ice Venkatesh, Houston Teen Driven to Make a Difference in the World. Olivia Smart, you know that she's got a podcast which is called Whatever This Is. She's got a new episode where she interviews Holly Harris, which she trains with as well. So quite a nice one to watch. And lastly, Inside Skating has got an interview with Benoit Richaud about Nina Pinzarone.
Well, you know that we like to end every episode by shining a lens on what's happening at our individual websites and also at Twiz.
So this week in skating, of course, we have a new store. As you know, you can support our podcast while rocking some cool swag. And we also have items available with the iStance.com and Figure Skaters Online logos. You can also join our Patreon for access to ad-free episodes. And we are nearing the end of the season, so we need your support even more now.
Absolutely. Over at IDC, I actually wrote an article about Ice Dance International's new tour, The Seasons. We have a preview of the World Championships, as well as photos will be coming from Prague. And then Matteo dropped a special blog on athletes' first impressions from when they arrived in Milano Cortina. It's really fun. We posted some graphics, some quote graphics on social media so you can kind of get a look at, some of those moments.
Yes, and I wanted to capture that because it's, when we were there, we were so busy at the Olympic Games, but I thought I'm not going to waste these quotes ever. And it felt right to do that because it's almost like a memory keeping of how they felt and the excitement that they felt. And I hope that some of them will look back in a few years thinking, oh my gosh, that's how I felt when I got to the Olympic Games. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
We have more Olympic stuff. We're not going to let the magic of the Olympics fade out just yet. Even though the competition is over, there's still lots to celebrate from that competition. And so watch for more content. Also, I have at least 4 interviews coming up with teams that were at the World Junior Championships, and I'm really excited to get those posted. Over at FSO, Gina's World Hub is up. There is a preview coming, and photos, of course, from the competition will be coming as well. Well, that brings us to the end of another episode of This Week in Skating. We look forward to coming back to you next week, where hopefully all 3 of us will be together to talk about the 2026 World Championships. So we'll see you then.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of This Week in Skating. Remember, you can keep up with us throughout the week by visiting our website at www.thisweekinskating.com. Connect with us on social media for additional updates. You can find us on Twitter at This Week in Skating without the E's, or Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at This Week in Skating. You got a burning question or feedback for Gina, Daphne, or Matteo? Reach out to us via social media or drop us an email at thisweekinskating@gmail.com. And if you're really enjoying the show and want to support us further, consider joining our Patreon community at patreon.com/thisweekinskating. Until next time, have a nice week.